Good evening, madam and all fellow friends. Today our group will present our article review, which is the article that we are reviewing is Employee Resistance and Organizational Change Factor by Gantisha Fuji. By the way, let me introduce myself. My name is Sherry Lemon. I'm going to present the introduction for our article review. So basically, the article Employee Resistance and Organizational Change Factor by Gantisha Fuji explaining on why employee may resist to organizational change and how manager can lessen employee resistance. In this article also analyze employee attitudes or behavior toward implementation of organizational changes and explain which factor impose organization to undertake changes. In the first paragraph, the author also defined organizational environment as complex and competitive, and due to its characteristic, organizations have to make changes to remain relevant in the industry. And the author also explaining that employees are the essential key to the implementation change, and because of that, the resistance towards changes should be considered in any change process as resistance contribute to the organization changes failure. And then in this article, and the author also pointing out several factors that cause employee resistance, such as fear of failure, mistrust and lack of confidence, emotional response, poor communication, and also time.
Hello everyone. My name is Leka Nalira. So my part is what is change in this article and how they manage. So there's two type of factor, external and internal factor. First, let's take a look to external factor. So first is economic factor, where the macroeconomic factor there's four, which is inflation, unemployment rate, as well as the government monetary and fiscal policy. All of these have significant impact on the business. Fiscal policy is the use of the government spending and revenue collection that impact in economy. So the manager there must keep track on this indicator in order to make the best transformation decision. Second is technology change. Organization they must adapt this technology change as occur in the industry. Organization they may force to make a large or just a little modification as a result of technology in advance. And when business implement new technology, so the work structure are altered and new equilibrium must be established. So by doing this technology change, the work task can be complete more effective and efficient, and also it will be done more fast than before. Okay. Next is social change, where the society has changed by the level of education, urbanization, and feeling of freedom among the most significant social change. So this change may affect the employee behavior at work. So the organization they must understand their employee desire. So in order to match their desire with their work or adjust the way they motivate them. And last is customer need for good and service. So as we know that customer want and need is always change. It's always change and it will never be same. So this change compel business to offer items that fulfill need of the customer. So the organization need to offer the best good and service for the customer, and also the customer need to aware what is change in their offer of good or service. So at least both party can be satisfied in advance. So now let's take a look to the second factor, which is internal factor. There's the tribe. First is employee. So the employee is responsible in this organizational adjustment. In order to make the workers work more productive or effective at their job, so they need to change the way they work. And also, with this organizational adjustment, so the workers can do their tasks more effective and efficient. Secondly is organization structure. A company structure determines its authority and hierarchy. Hierarchy mean is rank or grade with each level, which mean the like top manager, second manager, and then the below is worker, something like that. So organizations sometimes need to restructure their organization because their current structure can handle new difficulties. Lastly is organizational process. So organizational process, this activity is a produce an outcome. So this activity, they must evolve to meet the business goal and changing customer preference. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Amir Ikhwan. So I'm gonna present about the challenge after the apply the changes. So based on the article review, I get a 4 challenge from the article review. The first one is mistrust and lack of confidence. The second one is emotional responses. Third one is poor communication. And then the last one is unrealistic timeline. So we go to the first challenge, which is mistrust and lack of confidence. Most of the employees have the trust issue with the manager because of the change leader. The employees are more likely to work with leader who understand their needs or daily job problem. So that's for the first challenges in this article. So the second challenges for this article is emotional responses. So for this challenges is about the manager have a challenge to predict this feeling and understand that for employees changes. Sometimes manager have to explain why the changes is important for them. The third challenges is poor communication. So for poor communication is the manager avoid employee resistance, mass communication to them and to realize which are the employee reaction to the change, motivate them and explain why changes important to organization and what will bring to them. So for the last challenges is unrealistic timeline. Unrealistic timelines is challenges about the time. As we know, every changes need time to happen. The amount of time required for change depend on type of organization change. So I think that's all from me. I will pass for the next presenter. Thank you.
Through this article, we can see what factors have imposed changes in organization. These factors are divided into two, which are internal and external factor. External factors are economic, technology, and customers, while internal factors are employee, organizational change, and organizational process. In this article, it is also emphasized employees' resistance to change and what are the main sources that influence employee perspective towards changes. Employees will have different attitudes regarding changes. They may show readiness or resistance to change. Researchers should explain in detail the relationship between factors that influence organizational change and the behavior of the employee for further research. Such study will globally be critical success factors for the change. In addition, researchers could give more factors that affect the changes.